Welcome to the Pixelberry Choices podcast. I'm your host, Nirban Day. And today we're going to be talking about a book, Witness, a Bodyguard romance. This book released around last year. Oh, it wasn't well received by the fans, and we're going to sort of discuss what went wrong with this book or why it received the backlash that it received. But before I start that, first of all, I would like to say any book, if I personally played it, I kind liked it. Definitely I didn't like it as much as I liked any other books, for instance bolus or distant shores that were being released at that time. But that being said, if I were put in the position of the writing team and if I were told to write the story Witness, I definitely wouldn't have done a job like that. So it is definitely a professional job the way they wrote it, but I'm just saying what could have gone wrong, and just because it was definitely not well received. So first thing, this Witness book, if you have noticed, when this book released, VIP section was also being released at that time, and this is the first book where we see the concept of the single Li. So Nanny Affair released after this, if I remember. So this is the first book, and VIP section was not out that way still. So this is the first book where choices players really get to see how does it feel to have a one single love interest in a book. That was one thing. So I would say this is a book that was an experimental book by choices. They tried to do an experiment with a lot of things, to be honest, and it kind of backfired, but it was an experiment. So first thing is that. Second thing, what it had, the weird diamond scene. They also tried to research with the diamond scenes. If you play Witness, you will see it has lots of. So if you go for the intimate scene with the diamond scene, then within that you have more diamonds you can use. So the sort of section of the diamond scene. So it doesn't tell you, hey, give me 30 diamonds, you get to hook up with this character. It tells you, give me 18, let's initiate this. Then if you want to take it to the next step, give me some more diamonds. Then give me some more, and that's how it goes. So that's a diamond format they implemented. They tried to implement in this story, and they try to experiment if they can go with this, because a lot of other app stores, they have this kind of diamond scene, diamond facility, to be honest, but choices players didn't receive it at all. And sort of the way it started also, this is one of the books, the Queen Bee Nanny Affair followed suit. At the first chapter, you have the hookup scene. At the very first, you have the hookup scene, diamonds and hookup scene, and then we have the next. So I think choices need to be really careful, because if at the very first, if you give the hookup scene, then if you get the scene again at a later chapter, then it just doesn't feel the same, because you use your diamonds. What happened at first, maybe something similar we're gonna have later. So it just doesn't feel worth if you're not connected to that character. For instance, the Nanny Affair worked because people were connected to Sam. Really, people like Sam so much, so it worked there. But the love interest was good, but the storyline failed at some point, and the diamond scenes, the hookup scenes, it didn't seem right to take, so it backfired. Moving on, what else I think backfired is that they clearly tried to do an experiment, because people were waiting for this book for 1 week, and when it came out, it was just ridiculously short. It was just a 5 minutes book, so it was really short chapters. So they saw. I think it ended at chapter 28 or something. I don't remember now, but the chapter length was really short. So people were just waiting 1 week, and then it released, and they were just, oh, it ended. Not a lot of stuff's happening. So that was kind of boring. So they started this book. Just diamond mining through this book. They just went here to, collect diamonds. So so people sort of started having this mentality that this is the book in choices that I go to every week when it releases to read, so that I can get some diamonds that I can use somewhere else. So that was the overall mentality of choices players at that time, and I think they went on to a hiatus or something, or if they didn't, they were planning to make it 30 plus chapters, but then seeing the backlash it received, they kind of compressed the chapters, and and the chapter's length started increasing, and they ended at chapter 28 or something. So, but if it originally it would have been if they kept on going with the original idea, it would have been a way lengthier book. But I think it book is the mother book for My Two First Loves, because the short chapters experiment failed on a weekly basis. Then they went to My Two First Loves. They released it every single day, every day. Every day one chapter, and the chapter length was equal to what Witness gave us. So that was a really good idea. So that's all about Witness. I We just looked back at why it could have been a bummer for a lot of Chargers players, for what reasons, and another reason I was almost forgetting, that lack of characters. Like I said, multiple love interests always keeps people on the toes. It's like Sam was only one instance people really liked Sam. The sort of the forbidden romance was really working well with Sam, and people liked that. That's why it worked really well. But it's really risky for going with one love interest. With Dakota, it worked, and with Every Heartbeat, because it's a pure story. Again, it worked there. But otherwise, it's really hard to work with one love interest. That one thing, and lack of characters. Even if you're going with just one love interest, you need it. You need to have a lot of characters. But this book, Witness, only had just 11 characters or something. So, having more characters, expanding where you go, just adds a punch to the storyline. Because even if one person feels attracted to just one character, they can come back and just read the whole book for that particular character, because they're in love with that character. They don't need to be a love interest, just a character, just like Esme, just like Aurora and Openheart. So you see what when you have a lot of characters, what it can do with the story. So that way, I think it also fell short for the fans. But it was an experiment. I personally, when read it, when you compare this book with the other books that were being released at the same time, it definitely didn't, we're not. It wasn't like them. But still, if you read just separately this book, as a Witness, this Bodyguard romance, it's a good book. It's really not a bad book, and a really good product. What can happen, and the romance part of Bodyguard. At some point, it felt kind of, but yeah, it's a good book. It's a good read. Still, it's a really good read, and I'm not joking. And when I'm saying it's a good read, it's a really good read. But at an experimental level, it really, I think it kind of helped the idea of My Two First Loves, and My Two First Loves being the weekly book, daily book that it was. So it really helped that idea. And that's about Witness. It's a really good book. The murder we see, then our bodyguard protects us but can't get intimate to us. So first we get really intimate, and then we can't get intimate enough. So that was another forbidden slow burn touch that was added there. And we go to different places, we fight. It was a whole roller coaster ride too. Just some things, if it were right, it would have been a really popular book for the Choices fandom. I guarantee you. More characters, a little lengthier chapters with some more incidents, some more good cliffhangers. It would have been a banger. That's all for today. See you in the next video. That's about Witness, a Bodyguard romance. Let me know in the comment section, how did you feel about this book? Who's your favorite character? How did you like the love interest? Caspian, I think his name was, or forgot, the female ones. But regardless, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys for listening in. Peace out.